Good morning, everybody. It's time for morning manna, and I got some manna for you today. But before we get into the manna for the day, we want to just give Facebook Live a few quick seconds to get the audience together, and we're going to get right into the manna for the day. Now, I'm going to give you the text, the talk, and the takeaway. This is what you do. You got to give the hearts, the likes. You got to give the sharing. You got to do the sharing, rather. You got to subscribe. You got to make sure you follow. That's what you do. And I'm going to give you some manna for a show today. We're in this whole series. And if you're just joining us, we're in this whole series about leadership autopsy. Leadership autopsy. And the whole piece that I'm saying to you is that every believer is a leader. There's never a problem in which leadership cannot solve, because at the end of the day, it is leadership that is going to make the difference. And the fact that you are a leader because you are a believer and you use your influence to say, follow me as I follow Christ, you need to know how to lead better. You need to know how to lead better, and you need to know how to lead in any room you go into, because that's going to enhance your life. Where it's going to enhance your life is in your home, yourself, your business, your career, your church, wherever the case may be. Now, that's the bottom line. We've already established that, and we want to get further into that. And the more you get, or I should say, if you want more, you can always go to ileadacademy.net. I am launching my academy online this week, and so that's what I am sharing in this whole series. The text, the talk, and the takeaway, you know what to do. Now you're going to give the comments, you're going to give the revelation that you get so others can get it. Here is the text this morning. The text this morning, and you know it well. Acts 17:28. For in him that we live, move, and have our very being. Let's talk about this morning Trump versus Obama leadership style. Trump versus Obama leadership style. Now, before I get into explaining the text, I want to ask you, and I want you to put it in the comments, what is your leadership style? It's very important that you know the type of leader that you are, because the type of leader that you are is going to determine how you engage others. It's going to determine how you see life. It's going to be the rudder of your ship that guides you through smooth sailings and storms. So you need to know, what type of leader are you? Put it in the comments right now. I'll give you a second or two to put it in the comments. What type of leader are you? And so when we look at the text, let me give you an explanation of the text. This is Paul. Paul is talking. Paul is in Athens, Greece. Athens, Greece is the seat in many respects from a Western culture, not an Eastern culture, of the whole philosophical, Socrates, Plato, so on and so forth. So he comes to Athens, and he is walking around, and he sees all these altars, these idols and everything that have been erected for their various gods. He comes up to one altar, one idol's type of a situation, and it says, unto the unknown God. Now, Paul taps into that and says, the unknown God that you have enough sense to say exists is the God of gods, the Lord of lords, the King of kings. You've missed the boat. And then he makes this statement that we quote all the time. In him we live, move, and have our being. Why is that important with respect to leadership? It is important because you lead from the essence of who you are. I'm going to know who you are by how you lead. Let me say that one more time. I'm going to know the real you by how you lead. You can never separate yourself from how you lead others. You know, from the heart flows the issues of life. From the heart flows your ability to lead. All right. Now, given that and saying that, what is your leadership style? Because from you, the essence of who you are, you will then lead in that way, a particular way. Now, I want to talk about at least 3 leadership styles this morning. And you can pick one, and you can determine which one do you see in Obama or Trump. The first leadership style is transformational. Transformational leadership. Now, Jesus is the leader of all of those in many respects. Transformational. Transformational is 4 things that I want you to get with a transformational leader. You have the ability to cause people to idolize how you do things. You have the ability to cause people to be individualized. They really grow in themselves. You have the ability to intellectualize because you cause them to think better and deeper than they were before. And you have the inspirationalize. You cause them to be inspired. That's transformational. That's transformational. And you see, Paul is really operating in that way. And here is transactional. Transactional is a type of a leader that is always a quid pro quo. I'll do it if you do that. If you do this, I'll do that. I'm always looking to make a deal in whatever I do. Transactional. Transformational, transactional, and then there's a servant leader. Now, there's many more, and we begin the week talking about that. There's servant leader. I always put others first. We see that with Jesus all the time. Jesus is saying, I'm putting others first. I'm going to ensure that others grow, others achieve their visions, and others achieve what they're doing above and ahead of myself. Those are just three styles, and we see it all through scripture. We see it all through biblical characters. I want you now to look at the petri dish of what we are both living through right now in this crisis reality that we find ourselves in. And which one do you see operating right now with Trump versus Obama? Transformational, transactional, or servant leader? John Maxwell says that leadership always begins with others. Leadership always begins with others. So what does this mean with you? What type of leader are you? Because that's very important, because this is how you will engage the world around you. This is how you will influence the world around you. And it always begins with the essence of who you are. So all I have to do is look far before, or look through the veneer of what you put out there and find the essence of who you are. Because what did Paul say? In him you live, move, and have your being. Is there enough God in you to cause you to transform the lives of others, to lead others, or is it all about you? Hey, is it all about you? Because if it's all about you, you can't really convey and really have impact in the earth as God has called us to have. So when you look at our petri dish of what we're living through, it's like we're living in survival. It's like we're on a reality show of the whole world, in particular America. How are we being led right now? You answer the question. Put it in your comments. How are we being led right now? I'll give you another second or two. Because however we are being led, you know it came from the essence of the person. It comes from the essence, because it's in him that we live, move, and have our very being. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: you can't separate you from leading others. You can't separate you from leading others. If you want more of this and knowing how to lead better, to do better, to be the influencer that God has called you to be, to have the impact on the lives that God has called you, whether it's in your home, whether it's at the church, whether it's on your job, your career, whether it's in your business, then check us out, iLeadAcademy.net. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. Share the manna now. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.